Morning, welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange, Bell's Corners edition. Wonderful Monday, little drab outside, but that's okay. It's warming up and the snow is disappearing. It can't be bad at all, right? I'm going to share a screen, and the screen I'm sharing is the Phoenix website. Come on in, check us out, pbex.ca. That's pbex.ca. All right, member of the week. Well, look at that, Sam Storos. Well, what does Sam do? Well, take a gander at this little shot right here, repaired by Sam. And so he does wheel changes. And I say wheel changes as in tires, like, from snow tires to winter. He probably could change your wheel, but, and he does brakes. So it's all very close. Does some other minor stuff and primarily also dash cams. So if you want to know more or you want to reach out to Sam, great, he does a great work and cost effective. His e-card's right here, and that e-card, we all have one, and that e-card makes it easy for us, for other people to get a hold of us. So click here, Monday mornings, Bell's Corners, and you will come right into this meeting through Zoom. And we meet every morning, every Monday morning, 8 to 9 Eastern, unless, of course, it's a holiday week. There are exceptions. And then there's Wednesday morning for the East End group, and Thursday morning for the South End group, and Thursday afternoons between 1 and 2 p.m. On March 24th, we are having an after hours group at 7 p.m. hosted by Penny Lee Prevo, and that's about staying on your objectives and on target. Upcoming member events is you click here. We have the Canada Growth Network event that's later on today at 1 p.m. And then we have East Tradewinds Global Networking event tomorrow at 8 to 9 Eastern. Both these events are free to attend, and you're more than welcome to come in person and in Zoom. On March 18th, we're meeting at Hive on March 18th at 7:30 a.m. And then we're going to meet on the March 26th at River Lounge in person. That's off of the Prince of Wales area near Hunt Club. Hear about somebody, we're talking about somebody, click the click the directory for all members. You'll have the QR codes showing up in there, and or the other ways to get a hold of us. Now, what's been going on? Well, these e-cards, since January 9th, we've had 99 clicks on those cards. So people are using it. Close to $5 million worth of business since 2016. Year-to-date business just between members, $9,850 so far this year. And if you have any questions, reach out to Tony, or even reach out to Kat if you have a question about that. And speaking of Kat, over to you for the educational minute. Oh, go ahead, Kat.
Hi, everybody. So I've been speaking to a lot of clients recently who their problem is collation of data. So what do I mean by that? That's like everybody goes to networking events and they save the chat, or they go to in-person events and they collect the business cards. And then everybody connects with people on social media, and everybody has the BAMs or the one-to-one conversations with potential clients and other people they network with. But people don't collect that information and put it all in one place. They don't go into their social media and back up their Facebook or back up their LinkedIn profile, which means all of those wonderful connections that you've made, if anything happens and you lose that profile, you lose all of that data, all of that information. So all the email addresses, the contact names, the business links, everything. So what my kind of thing for you to do is look at what data you've got and collate it into one location. So back up on a regular basis. So go into your Facebook and back up weekly or monthly. Same with your LinkedIn. Take all the chats, merge them all together. So this could be in a spreadsheet if you're one of the spreadsheet gang, or it could be through a CRM if you're more into that kind of space. However it is that you store all this data and you keep it up to date, make sure that it's always put together, it's always updated, so that if you do decide you want to have a mailing list, or you want to send out a marketing campaign of some description, everything is together. And if everything disappears, you've always got a backup of anything and everything for your business. I hope that kind of made sense and I didn't just ramble. Thanks, Bernie. You're on mute, by the way.
I'm cute. Well, thank you, Kat. It's the first thing I need to hear first thing in the morning. Thank you. Sorry about that. Here is our LinkedIn live feed connection. It's in the chat. And the next thing I'm going to share is also the East Trade Winds who's speaking. And Peja Rajnovic is speaking about digital strategy. That's tomorrow at East Trade Winds. And I'll swing over the mic to Carolee and then Shane. Carolee, what's happening?
Hi there. Here at the Canada Food Cupboard, it's busy as always. We've seen more and more families reaching out needing help with food assistance and other supports that we provide here at the Canada Food Cupboard. I do have something exciting to share, and we're very proud to share this news. This is kind of a little bit of a tease to what's to come next week. But starting next week here at the Canada Food Cupboard, we are revamping our allotments of fresh food, meaning that we are going to be giving more fresh food options to the families that come and see us on a regular basis. We're thrilled to be able to do this, and we know this is something that all the families that reach out to our program have been asking for some time. So we're happy that we're going to be able to be offering more fruits and vegetables to the families that we serve. Obviously, fresh food is an important part of everyone's diet. We know the benefits of eating fresh food for chronic disease prevention and just overall health. So we're happy that we're able to do that here at the Canada Food Cupboard. So just a friendly reminder, this time of the year, donations are down. All food banks across, not just here in Ontario, but across the country. So remember your local food bank and support however you can. Thank you all.
Carolee, thank you so much. And this is a quick reminder to use CAT services to help echo your information and your feed through the Phoenix Business Exchange channels. Shane, over to you, and then Kat. Go ahead, Shane.
Health and performance, always here to help with your aches and pains, chiropractic, physio, all that different things. Anyways, I have probably a very common complaint for people is when they wake up, they have numbness or tingling in the hand, or arm, whatever kind of works for you, as well as sometimes people have it after like a shoulder injury, right? So first thing you do is checking your pillow. Like, is your pillow well supported? Your head should be kind of aligned the same way as it is when you're standing up. If you start doing this, it'll compress the nerves here or overstretch them here. That can be two different things. If you compress it, just like when you sit on your butt and you can't get up from the floor without your leg going numb or having weakness, the same thing can happen with compression into the neck. Stretching on the other side. So what happens with the nerve when it stretches is when the nerve stretches a little bit, then you're going to have less that nerve. Okay. So when it stretches, it pulls on that circulation, that nerve becomes less innervated by circulation, which is the oxygen that gets that. And when you have less oxygen, you start getting that numbness and tingling. All right. So this can happen in different parts of the hand as well. So how do we sort out which is right? So in my hand here, if it's the pinky or the fourth finger, you're looking, okay. All the way through. If we're looking at a median nerve, which is the nerve that does the other fingers, the 1, 2, and 3, the thumb, we're looking at bring it upwards and back. So back like this, stretching that fingers outwards, right? So you have your fingers stretching out, arm is back and abducted, so up into the air or that, and then our head goes to the opposite side again of where we're stretching. Now it's a floss. It's not a stretch. It's a floss. We're going back and forth flossing. Okay. And the last one is a radial nerve. Radial nerve is a little bit different. We usually start it up here. We bring it across the body downwards. As you can see here, I bend my wrist down. I make a fist like that. And then the head goes which way? To the opposite side again. Okay. And we do that back and forth like this. We're flossing it. Now, it's not as good as actually getting rid of the nerve entrapment, which is basically getting into where it is. If it's in the neck, underneath the shoulder, which is subscapularis, or into the arm, it's not as good as being in treatment and getting that done. It's a lot faster. But doing the flossing is like pulling a knot through a shoelace, right? If you keep tugging, keep tugging it, it starts to get smoother and smoother, and then it's easier to go. So those are the kind of things we do for our nerve entrapments. We usually like that hand where you have to shake it in the morning every time you kind of get up. If that's something that's happening to you, give us a call. Hopefully we can help out with you guys getting that arm or even leg feeling better. Okay, guys? I'm Shane Bales, Production Health and Performance. It hurts so good.
Shane, thank you so much. And next quick promo is the Canada Growth Network Power Hour conversation with Brent Edwards. He's a networking coach, and he actually works with people that are new to Canada, so getting people into the business space. And did I say who was up next? Oh, I did not. So we're going to swing over to Sam, the the member of the week, and then we'll go to Tony. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. There's my contact information in the chat. Let's see here. It's Dashcam Sam. That's who I am. That even rhymed. Do dash cameras for people in their cars. If by any chance you're traveling in Newfoundland and you want to take some pictures of moose that might be crossing the path your car while you're driving, a dash cam will do that for you. So that's one other reason to buy a dash camera, because you got proof that moose actually ran in front of your car and made you drive off the road and smash into a tree. Anyway, besides that, I do oil changes, brake jobs, things like that. And I'm coming to you today from Kitchener, Ontario. Little history lesson. Kitchener's original name was Berlin until the First World War, and they decided to change it for some reason. Some reason they didn't like the Germans at that point. And they changed it to, I believe, Kitchener was an admiral in the British Navy, if I remember right. Anyway, that's where I'm at today. And one thing I'm looking for referrals wise is this time of year, people tend to have some issues with their vehicles. It's actually fairly common with the salt coming out of the car, to have issues, especially things that get rusty. And if you get a estimate from someplace and it seems kind of high, maybe you just want to give me a call and give me a lowdown on what the issue is and what the repair costs, and I'll see what I can do for you. Maybe I can save you some money. That's it for me. Sam Stewart, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and lots more.
Sam, thank you so much. And the next quick promo is Mike Wazowski. He can do stand-in for you. That way, if you need to take time off away from Phoenix, he can present your messaging. I'm going to swing over to Kat, because Kat, the fact you gave the message first kind of threw me off the game. You're actually up next, and then Tony. Go ahead, Kat.
No worries. So the people I want to talk to are people like Shane. No, I don't mean they have to work in Shane's industry. What I mean is they're people that have stories, hints, and tips about things that you can do in your business or in your personal life that are going to help you. So Shane was talking about how to unlock nerves to stop you having all that kind of nerve damage, and how to do all those kind of stretches. Now, if you could imagine if that kind of content went on his social media, that gives him credibility, and people go, wow, that's amazing, I'm going to do that. And then because they're getting the right result from doing it, they're then going to call Shane whenever they have another problem. They're going to go to his social media, to his website, and say, oh, what more information can I get? How do I book a session? But that also works whether you sell tires, whether you're the food bank, whether you're doing meditation classes, or even you've got a podcast. All of these things, they all need shared, all the hints, the tips, those little golden nuggets. So I'm after people who want to promote these little golden nuggets in their business and just either don't know how to do it or just need a little bit of guidance on where to start. It's kind of where I'm at, Bernie.
Kat, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tony, are there any BAMS referrals?
Not right now.
And Sam, how about you?
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot to mention Eric Senego. Originally, he was going to come see me tomorrow, but that got delayed till Thursday. So he's got an issue with his vehicle, and I'm going to take care of him. That's it for me.
Carolee, any BAMS referrals this week? Or last week, I should say?
No, not for me. Thank you.
Okay. And Shane? Catching you off guard, but hey, who knows?
Sorry, what's that?
Any BAMS referrals for you, lad?
BAMs or referrals. I don't know if I mentioned the one I had with Kat a while ago. That was fabulous and stuff like that. And thanks again, Kat, for including me into your infomercial. That's great and good reminder for me to do some stuff on social media. I'm trying to think of Kelly. I've done things with Kelly too, but yeah, that's about the BAMs and the referrals going forward. But yep, good.
Thank you, Shane. Hey, Tony, you're up next.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group, the medium clairvoyant, And what I'm seeing now that I'm getting more and more clients is that we're just getting into spring, and there's still a lot of anxiety with people trying to move forward. People think that they're stuck. And really what that is that they're feeling something that they need to do but aren't doing it. So it's not really a system that you can't move forward. It's just that you have an idea, but execution is a real thing. But usually there's an underlying fear behind that. Why people are hesitating is usually because they're fearing something that and usually it has something to do with the unknown or whatever. But if you come in for a reading, we can do a tuning session and it will come up. And then that way we can address it even if it is hidden. Most people, they just feel something's off and that. So if you know somebody that is going through that, that's the way to do. A quick tip for you when you're sleeping at night. If you take a glass of clear water and you put it in a clear glass and you put it on the right side of your wherever you're sleeping. So if you have a nightstand, put it on the right side of your stand, and you tell the water that during your sleep that if you are feeling, if there's any energy around you, and that's usually when it comes up, any energy around you that is causing some degree of stress, and that's what happens. Stress starts to come out at night because all our faculties are sleeping and everything's comes up. Your actual energy of your body starts to drop, and the energy itself comes up that is the one that's bothering you. That the water absorbed those things. By next morning, if you see bubbles at the bottom of the water, or if you see the water is cloudy, then the water has been picked up by what it is, because you're programming the water to do that, and that's what it does. It goes by the voice. Okay, so then you just basically clean it out and then set it there again. If it happens for up to 7 days and it's still cloudy, come and see me. Okay, then we could look at things in a deeper perspective that way. Usually, it happens when you are experiencing a death in the family, lost pet, or other stresses, or divorce, or there's just some major things going on, and it's just overwhelming, and the body will show that. Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits. Okay, I did some business with. I think, by the way, today my wife is coming in to see Shane. She hurt her knee some time ago. She fell on it and is going to see Shane today, I believe, to get that looked at, and have goings with Josh and Kelly. Had a BAM with Kelly, and Penny Lee had a BAM with her. And let's see, I believe it was Eric Senego. We'll be meeting with him soon to get our year end for the accounting and so on. So ongoing business with him too. So back to you, Bernie.
Thank you so much. And so my name is Bernie. I do stuff, and I'm actually going to present about the stuff I'm going to do. So let me share a screen. I'll walk you through the life of our friends group that's kind of cruising along. And if all goes well, we will have a shared screen with an update. So is the screen presenting? Perfect. Good. So marketing, conversations, soft sales. It's giving the bigger room. So what does that all mean? So if I encounter somebody and I start talking about people that are in need of the service or want support of the service, it's an ebb and flow piece. In fact, Kat's brought people to the Canada Growth Network, for example, right? Because there's utility in that for her, and it helps her her operating procedures. Golf games. Hi, Carolee. We did a great 9-hole game, and that was really awesome. Tony met Kat through the East Trade Winds. So that's kind of the space. Community building and podcasting. So that's where it all kind of goes. So I'm just going to advance my slide here. There we go. Business concierge, the right people at the right time. It's almost like wine tasting or pairing with cheese. just you try to find that which will go well. And even though you might have two people that are in the same line of work, sometimes you probably can tell the personalities might not click. And so you try to fit them accordingly. The podcasting element, over 433, 440 podcasts. I got two releasing, actually, I got probably four releasing this week. And in fact, some of our Canada Growth Network content is now showing up in the podcast too. So it just gets more reach and more connectivity. Uh, East Trade Wins the Canada Growth Network. There are two pieces that are free, the Power Hour and then the East Trade Wins sessions on Tuesday. So it's not about capturing money. Money will follow. Sometimes it's through affiliations, sometimes it's through the cross connections, and it's kind of interest supported. Helping your business run smoother. Now that's getting closer to the Canada Growth Network. So some people have, in the past have said, well, Bernie, how do you make money? Well, it just falls from heaven. No. Um, Part of it's through affiliations. So sometimes when there's a successful transaction, there's a reward that comes back to myself. And that's been with some software where I have an affiliation agreement. Sometimes it might be someone wants to have a podcast, have a boost. Tony's benefited from that using the Jamex relationship, right? So that all feeds back. It won't buy me an Armani suit. It won't buy me a new car to replace the one where the brakes are kind of like sideways. Even though it's getting fixed under warranty, 3.5 months later. We'll leave that out of the picture though. But it's finding those tools, systems, and automation. And the Go High Level part in Canada Growth Network is part of that picture. But even, for example, if you want to flip over your AI platform and you want to go, well, geez, I want to take the memory from the first one and move it to the second one. I have actually got a script for that. And I picked it up, and it's actually from my current provider. So I've migrated. Now I'll leave the names out of it, but you can kind of guess where the gears are shifting in that space. However, you wanted something to help you move that around. Uh, Come see me or reach out to me. We'll have a BAM online or in person. I'm gonna go to the next screen. So we already covered the podcast element, but these are all different points of entry in here. One new element's been added. It's the knack for business Ghost IO. Actually, it should be reading blog, and then you'll see that in subsequent slides. So that just one kind of a minor typo, but it leads you to the same spot. So as I do my podcasts, as I do the East Trade Winds or the Canada Growth Network, I'm now putting this into a blog format. And the platform makes it even more searchable from an SEO basis. And in fact, most of my scripts now, I target SEO, AEO, GEO. There's a couple other vowels that probably are going to be evolving over time, but one makes you findable through AI search engines. And just, so those are the tags that are being built in and having everything structured so the verbiage is there that makes you more findable and make your content more findable. All right. And so that's part of the process, but that's the entry points into that space. Typically, I'll have a guest on a podcast and I'm going, you know what? I think you'd be a good fit for East Trade Winds. Even if it's just information, there's not going to be, there's no yield. In other words, they're not going to find their ideal client in that group. However, that said, they're going to either impart information where you might not have been aware of, or you might know their client that they're seeking. All right. And the same thing with Canada Growth Network. It's just, those are kind of ecosystems. And I'll invite them here into Phoenix too, to speak on my behalf on my particular time slot. And next screen. So Knack for Business Conversations, AI, marketing, health, wellness, real estate, mindset, local business. There's 8 pillars, and again, this is where I've leveraged AI, going, "Hi, look over here. Tell me, let me put some more meat around it or some more structure around it." And so it came back with 8 pillars. Free to listen to, daily releases almost, it feels like daily, at least for every time I keep doing the editing, I've noticed that. If you want to know some editing software, I know that. So I use different tech stacks that are convenient. And if you have certain skill sets, and if you don't know how to edit your podcast, or you want to know how to edit a podcast, I know a guy. His name's Carl Richards, right? And one conversation equals a podcast, blog post, introduction to this community. So this, again, it just helps share the information. East trade wins. You don't have to show up to sell. You just have to show up and talk about yourself. We try to make it smooth enough so that, we offer three questions, icebreaker questions. One's usually wrapped around the guest speaker, and the other two are meant to help you shine or show a bit about you. You don't have to answer any of them. You can answer all of them typically, depending on the amount of time we have. It's, bring a challenge, one introduction, no hard selling. You can invite other people in. And you know what? You don't have to show up every week. It's good if you do, but you know what? That's okay. Life is busy. And you go ahead and ask me how many times there's some meetings I don't end up going to because I'm already busy as it is. Right. And if I were Sam changing tires and brakes all the time, then, I wouldn't have time at all. No. But, there might be opportunities in that space. All right. And next screen, Canada Growth Network. So we have the Monday Power Hours, and I've just mentioned one where Brent's going to be talking. He's also been a podcast guest. Warm introductions. So it's a smaller group. On East Trade Winds is like 15 to 20 people roll in. The Canada Growth Network right now is a little smaller, but we also have an offer for the Go High level. So if you're a Phoenix member and you join Phoenix, and you want to have a platform, an all-in-one package, you can get it through Phoenix for $39 a month, right? Canadian, and no contract. You can peel out anytime or you want to migrate to another Go High level agency. Never a problem. But that is major utility in one spot, and there's a whole host of reasons why that works. And if you don't really understand it or you want help with it, you know what? That's what Cat Hurt does. So that's part of the ecosystem, right? So it's just, we have a tool that's available. You can reach out to Cat if you want to work with her, and she can help do your social media marketing pieces in that. Right, and it's just members who refer business, not just business cards. So that's the other key piece, and it's kind of the mantra here within Phoenix. All right, there we go. Blogknackforbusiness.com. That's the proper title space to go through. All right, what I do in each of you'll see that in the podcast now. There's a growth pillar, and that's the first bit that always shows up. What is the nature of the conversation we're about to have? There's 8 of them. And so if it's about revenue, generating funds, it could be health, it could be, social media, AI boxes. They're all in there, right? There's episode recaps. There's a link in there to the video. Typically, when I do a podcast recording, I also record a video. So that's all all in one. And then, it breaks it down. What are the takeaways? Who's it really targeting for? But, you might see utility in some of this conversation that's being had with a guest. Then there's a part where there's a call to action where we end up promoting different elements. And then FAQs that go at the bottom, typically questions people have about the topic at hand. So it all gets packaged into that one box. How's it all run? Well, I think we mentioned this earlier. Affiliate partnership, Go High Level, Jamix, Aurora Smart Tags, vidIQ. That's another piece of tech stack that I use that helps me do the YouTube edits and optimization. So that's kind of what's driving some of the image content and then the tags again to increase and enhance the connections. Web Indexer. If you don't know Web Indexer, that's Rael Ganante. And that's using the chatbot. And in fact, I'm using that chatbot in the knackforbusiness.com website. And so if you drive in there and you type in, I want to know more about, pick a topic, it's going to search the the blog post, as well as whatever's on the website. So those two pieces will interactive. And that's, again, if you're a member of Phoenix, reach out to Rael and he'll help give you a deal and work through it. And in fact, I think Tony's using them. Aren't you, Tony? Right, and it gives you a summary report of
Yes,
things that
yes,
have
I'm,
happened.
I'm using that too.
So yeah, so it gives you a summary report end of the week, what what transactions, what the questions. So if you fire and forget, you can actually get a reminder to go take a peek at it. We've already covered the CGN membership. So for those that are not part of Phoenix, it's 47 Canadian a month, right? And again, that whole process, it's you can host, like, you can create QR codes, you can create community clusters inside that space. You can have subscription based. You can do affiliation marketing within that space. Podcast sponsorships. That's something that's coming up soon, and where we are going to deal with it's part of the affiliation, or we're going to end up doing marketing. And so I'm working with Carl on developing a rate card, just to have it come across balanced, but at the same time effective. The CRM setup and automation, I'm working with Percy Barr on that piece. So, Percy will come in, and if it's beyond scope or it gets bigger, I have another contact called Notion Hive, not at Hive, but Notion Hive, and they can also help build out that space. And they work out of Bangladesh, so their labor rates are cheaper. And then we have the At Hive space, and what's happening there. I'm a member of At Hive. We have to reach out to them and get them to send us the contact list of who's available and what services they'll provide. And that's coming up shortly. But that's part of all the cross connections. What's the opportunity for you? Like, okay, Bernie, you've told us all this. Why do I care? Become a podcast guest. And I think Kat's coming up. Tony's been twice. Carol Lee's been there. Sam, you always have the opportunity to have your singing voice and talking about breaks. It's the whole podcast space isn't so much about, even though 80% of the traffic is in the US, you're passing a message along, like why you got in the business, golden nuggets, lessons learned, all right, about the business, and then what you know. And you can share that content. And it just, whether you're looking to do sales or you're just looking to connect and get much like Kat was mentioning earlier, having your expertise pushed out. Shane's an obvious one too. And I think Shane's been a guest also, if I'm not mistaken. Join East Tradewinds. All you got to do is hit the Zoom link. We send out 2 emails, one on Friday that says, hey, this is what's happening next week. Here are the 3 questions. Here are kind of the short promos. And again, it just, we'll cycle through the different promotional pieces. And then we send one out Monday saying, you know what, tomorrow's Tuesday. And if you're available, or you can show up in the afternoon to visit us. Join the Canada Growth Network. So it's if you're Phoenix, you're part of it, and just for 39 Canadian. But the Mondays are still free. And again, if you're in that space, it's not a big deal. Subscribe to the blog. It's free. You'll get updates, and as content comes across, if you find it interesting, dive in, give a comment, reach out to the person. And if you want, we can also do an affiliation, co-marketing, referral agreement, whatever is good for you. And that way it gives you a little elevated promotion. Now, the QR codes. These are the QR codes that are created through Go High Level. And so you can change the color backgrounds, etc. I mean, I tried to change it up just a wee bit, but you take the camera, it'll take you to the creativeinsight.com. The Knack from Business blog is right there, and the Canada Growth Network. So those are kind of some spaces to get into. This whole process and doing this, I sat back and then I realized, hang on, I use my tech stack and start improving my my Creative Insight website. And just what can I do next? And Claude had no problem telling me, "Oh, Bernie, here's where you have some gaps. Fix her." So that's going to be the next project I'm going to tell Penny Lee when we're having our gathering of things to do for the following month. It'll be in that space. And that is the presentation. I've left you like almost 17 minutes of life left in your day. And does anybody have any questions?
Well, just one comment, Bernie, about the CRM, just to keep track. I mean, Kat is handling most of us for us, but it's a great platform. There's a lot in there that you could put your clients in and keep track of everything. And you need some kind of a way or a system to be able to keep track of clients coming in. If you don't use anything, like Kat had mentioned earlier, they'll just go by the wayside, and these are basically lost opportunities. So I have a certain way that I connect to my clients once a month, where I'll go, one at a time and saying, how are you doing? Or it's usually I'll get visions of it what a week before, and I'll just jot people's names down. I'll do those people first. And it usually happens when I connect to about 10 people, one person will say, what a great timing. We should set up a meeting and get together again. And then it works into a session. So it is hugely important to keep track of clients that you have. Don't always keep looking for the new people coming in. If you've been doing your business for 3 to 5 years or more, you've already got a very good clientele, and they know people that might want your product or service. But they're just so busy. Like we've already discussed how busy people are. Cara Lee mentioned it, and Bernie and Sam and so on. There's so much going on that you forget easily. The joke is like it's like the guy says, and you got to do one thing or the other. Knock on wood. He says, "Oh, someone's at the door." Sometimes we forget things so quickly. It's amazing that we can function sometimes. But there's a lot going on. There's so many things that we need to do, and it's you have to pick whatever you're going to do. You can't do everything. So a CRM will really sort of culminate that. So thank you, Bernie, for bringing that to us.
Oh, you're welcome, Tony. Does anybody else have any other questions? Awesome.
Okay.
The quote is closing quote. Does anybody have any messages they want to broadcast at this time? Perfect. Closing quote is, I don't believe in failure. It is not failure if you enjoy the process, according to Oprah Winfrey.